Okay, hello and we're back. And the headphones are off. They're coming off. They're coming off. Just using the tech check to make sure the sound's working. It's coming off. So we looked around the map. Just gonna skip ahead a little. We looked around the map. We got some silver adjacent, and we got some steel close by. So even though it's a fairly open, large map, our resources will have enough to get us through to underground resource mining. So first we're going to start up with our shelters, our immediate shelters. Because since we have such an abundance of wood, I think the three of them are going to decide just to build their own little huts for themselves. We're going to go with what looks like an 8x6 room for each of us. Which is okay. It gives us decent space, but it's not quite too large. You don't want it to be too small, otherwise you get a cramped mood debuff, and that'll just kind of ruin. It'll cramp your style, so to say. And so we're gonna skip ahead a little bit, give some order to chop some trees, and now we're here. The reason we're here is that we're gonna show you where the production area is gonna be. This is where we're gonna have our cooking area, so our kitchen, our research area, our clothes production area, our block production area. And we're going to skip ahead a little bit now. Now you can see, after one day of work, this is where we come to. Mike was so kind and helpful. He helped build everything else except for his own room. Everybody has wooden floors and a bed, either made or planned to be made. The reason this is because you don't want to leave your floors just dirt. Otherwise you get a pretty big debuff from how awful it is. That's what you don't want. And so here we have our first dinosaur-related casualty injury. As you can see, this poor little turtle, he got brutally massacred. Just its claw went right through the opposing turtle. Which I don't think is something we have to worry about quite yet, but you never know. Now we skip ahead. I put a stockpile here, and I'm making the kitchen. The reason I made a stockpile indoors is because you want to keep all your items outside of the rain and of the just basic elements, otherwise it starts to deteriorate. Food can rot, while almost everything can deteriorate. Steel does not deteriorate, so I could have left that outside, but let bygones be bygones. And now I'm going to start up a power supply made out of simply steel and components, which makes sense. Who needs glass anymore? And you'll see I'll start putting down a wooden structure below this, a wooden structure of wooden floor planks. That's because the little area outlined needs to be clear of trees and structures in order for the wind turbine to work at full capacity. And so now we have our second dino-related incident and our first actual event from Random. A Gigantoraptor joined our colony. It's in appearance similar to a Velociraptor, but is a herbivore, has a beak. And I was considering keeping this since it is a herbivore. But the melee DPS isn't anything too impressive, and it's just slightly larger than like your average animal in RimWorld. So I'm gonna opt to slaughter it later on for some leather and some meat, 105 meat. Which is alright. If we were able to self-tame a Tyrannosaur, that would be preferred. However, I'm not sure Randy Random give that honor to us. And now I'm going to complete here. Oh, there's something going on. I'm now going to complete our third dinosaur-related event has come along. I was saying I was going to complete the wind turbine floorboards, but I didn't need to. These herds are relatively harmless. I would love to get all the meat, and more importantly, I think in this case, the hides of those animals, because they are armored, And so making clothes out of them would provide us with some decent defensive stats. Now we're completing the floor. And the reason we keep this going is because some interesting things happened, I suppose. I guess not really. We're setting up a joy source because lack of joy would cause your inmates, not your inmates, but your pawns to go insane. And you really want to keep them as happy as possible to keep them productive as possible. It's like having a good business going. I added a room which will be a prison and hospital and storage space because I want to move our storage out of here to make it viable for production. And below the kitchen area, I'm making a refrigerator. As you can see, I'm adding a door. This is where all our meals and meat and so on will be stored. Pardon my throat. I'm a bit sick. You can kindly watch Mike and Matt play. Now, as you can see, our project here is the shell is complete, and Mike thinks that we should name our colony. So what should our faction be called? Our faction will be called the Knights That Say Ellipses. And it looks like we'll be here for a while. So Jamestown, I don't think we're going to do Jamestown. Not Jamestown seems very appropriate. Not James Toon. And I'm about to press OK, but then I think of it again. Do we want to be not Jamestown? That seems rather too okay. I think being Team 3 would be better, or, as I come to change it, we will be keeping in line with the Monty Python Holy Grail theme and name it Camelot. Now, say what you say about the name Camelot, say what you think about the orientation of the members of this colony at Camelot. None of them have the gay trait, so, you know, just don't judge. We're just friends here at Camelot. It's a beautiful town here at Camelot. Well, it's kind of an odd town because you don't have a house, you have a room. And then there's just like a general cooking area. I guess if at some point you become rich enough, you could have individualized houses where everybody has their own kitchen and such, but I feel like a mod would be necessary to have that in the game. Not necessarily a mod, but one that allows you to ration out pieces of meat and have people work a good economy. For right now, I'm setting up the power. I'm setting up a battery. The battery is not currently connected to the wind turbine, which is something I will adjust in a future episode. But for now, as you can see, I'm laying down my stonecutter's table and my simple research bench. These are the two most important objects in that room, aside from the cooking apparatus. This is because stone cutting bench will allow us to make walls that will not burn down, since we're all wood right now. We're very prone to being on fire. And also will make us sturdy walls, which will allow us to funnel basic assaults on us through a choke point. And protect us from fires, just from going out randomly. Fires are a bit of a problem, especially in wooded and grassed areas, because it'll spread far and quickly. Because there isn't much holding it back. The only thing that'll hold it back is rain. And sometimes rain, especially on Randy Random, doesn't come after a flash lightning storm. So here we go. I decided to euthanize is a better way to say it. Abort. This is another way to say it instead of murder. I choose to abort the dinosaur we have for a decent chunk of meat and leather. And here I'm refactoring our storage space so we can have everything going except for foods. Below deck. That's how we hunt in the Old West. We just lay down a military barrage of fire. And here I begin to make my first gardening area, which will allow us to grow some rice, which is quick to grow, which will allow us to yield early resources. And I researched pemmican so we can make pemmican early as well. Thank you for this. I'll see you next time. Cool. Wait. Where's the button? Here, I guess?